Hi, it's Liz from Blue and Hazel, and glad to have you here. I have a previous video on how we used busy toddlers playing preschool 1 and 2. I will put that video in the description below. This is the video that I wanted to flip the camera around and give you a look inside. I'm not going to show you every page, but I will do just a general flip through, and I'll also show you kind of how it's laid out on the day-to-day, and then on each unit how they lay out like supplies that you need and the poem that you're going to read and just what you're going to do each day. Like I said, I've used this program with 2 of my kiddos going through preschool. It was so nice for me to just have a program that told me exactly what to do each day. It's all cutely packaged up in units that are themed, and so the books are going to match the poem, is going to match the song, is going to match the activity. And it's just this program that builds on itself and slowly gets harder all the way to the end of book 1 through book 2. And I mentioned this in the other video, but Susie does recommend starting at book 1 no matter what age your preschooler is. Flying through that a little faster if you need, because it really does build on itself. And let's go ahead and flip the camera around and take a look inside of book 1 and book 2. I'll put the link in the description where you can buy Playing Preschool, and also the company that we got it printed through called Homeschool Printing Company. Because these are so thick, over 300 pages each book, I don't recommend it printing them at home. They're just hard to bind when you get that many pages. Also, if you find this helpful, please give it a thumbs up. That really helps my channel, and let's take a look inside. Here is what Playing Preschool is going to look like. It's very thick. So what I want to show you inside is just how it is laid out. Now I'm going to skip to a different unit because there are other reviews online that you can find of the apples unit. It's pretty well covered. We'll go to unit 2, colors. So another thing to point out is that it has these printable activities, and one of the main things it's going to suggest that you do in each of the units, you'll have a letter, and there'll be some fun craft that you do with that letter. You can print extra pages off. That's what I did. I just copied these pages because I had sometimes 2 kids. My oldest would sometimes do the craft even though he wasn't actually doing Playing Preschool. You are welcome to do what she suggests, which is make a little booklet for the kids out of all of their letters combined that they can just admire later on when they have the whole alphabet. Very cute idea. I just never seemed to get that done. So there's 19 units in here in each of the books, with 2 weeks per unit. Here are all of these books that you'll use for those 2 weeks. Here's the supplies that you might need for this unit. This is the poem that you will come back and read each time, and the song that you will do to the tune of head, shoulders, knees, and toes. So like they've made these easy for you to remember and easy to teach. Then if you are a schedule person, they have this handy dandy little schedule in here, what you're gonna do on week 1. Here's Monday, what you're gonna read out loud, what you're gonna talk about, the learning activity, and then the easy activity. Now Tuesday, you're going to read that same book again, and you'll introduce the letter R for rainbow, find letter R in the book, then you'll have an alphabet hunt. The easy activity says you'll make a Fruit Loop necklace 5 loops at a time. Honestly, I didn't really rely on the schedule page like this very much. I would just flip to Monday, and I had my books from the library sometimes, and then we would do the top and go to the bottom. The morning calendar time routine, I had my own calendar time that we would do, that I have a printable for in my Etsy shop. It was just super like, what's today, what's yesterday, what's tomorrow, what's the weather, what's the date, things like that. Song and poem, so you saw right here that you would go back and do the poem, you would do the song, and then you would introduce the topic. So you might say like, what are colors? What's your favorite color? What colors do you see in this room? And you'd kind of have this back and forth conversation about that real quick, and then you'll tell them, we're going to be learning about colors this week. Then you do your read aloud from Freight Train, then you have the learning activity, and then you have your easy activities. We get to sort, so we'll sort by color. Grab a basket of different toys for your child to work with. Try to find toys that are solid colors. Based on your child's sorting ability age, choose how many colors to sort. Usually 2 to 4 is the best. Now, I am pretty sure what we had here is I had some colored pom-poms, and I had them sort those pom-poms because Sometimes it's just tricky to like go through your house and find random toys that are not in the right spots and blah, blah, blah. So I just kind of had, like I said, the little craft area and I pulled from there. But you can totally just use stuff around your house. And then easy activity, make a freight train. Let your child build their own freight train like a book. This could look many different ways. Use wooden trains, use Lego, Duplos, colored boxes, whatever. Then you have Tuesday, and so same thing, morning routine, song and poem, then review the topic, and then you'll have your read aloud, things to talk about, and you can see it in quotation marks is what you might say. This is the letter R. I hear the letter R in rainbow, rip, and red. R says the sound R, and then it says look back through the read aloud book and find the letter R in print. You don't need to do every page, just a few. So you're pointing out where they might see this in real life. And then you're going to do an alphabet hunt. And these two activities are always so fun and so worth doing. Together you will search through your home book collection for other books with the letter R in the title. Sort those into one pile and put books without R in the title in another pile. Now, the easy activity is Fruit Loop counting and making a Fruit Loop necklace. Oftentimes, like what I found is that when the day was over, they enjoyed it so much that they were like begging for more activities, and either I had other stuff to do, or a baby needed me, or somebody needed wiped, or whatever, and so I couldn't always go longer, but they enjoyed it so much they oftentimes asked for more. Then you have Wednesday, so you'll see the same exact order in what they do each day, just usually a different book and a different activity. So here you have color mixing and then color mixing art. This is where you will want that big plastic tub because it just contains messes. Thursday, same thing. You're going to have song and poem. That same poem is in same song. They'll definitely hear that a lot of times. Then you will, review the topic. Today's yellow day. What are your favorite things that are yellow? Read aloud, things to talk about. Then you'll have the learning activity, counting yellow. Walk around the house, counting items that are yellow. Sort them into groups of 5s, 1 to 5 each time. Make sure to emphasize touching and counting at the same time. So this is just like super simple. If you have a little kid that's totally bored with this, you'll probably want to skip ahead to the next day's activity. Which, that can happen and that's okay. Easy activity, sunshine art. On a piece of white construction paper, ask your child to paint a giant yellow sunshine. Cut it out and hang it on your fridge. So these are things I would never think to do, and Playing Preschool just made it so easy to be like, yay, we have an activity. This feels like official. They feel special and important, like they have their own special school stuff to do. You don't need to plan anything. It's all planned for you. It's going to follow that exact same pattern all the way through. Then you have your new letter. This is going to be some kind of a craft activity where they're like doing something on this letter. And then you'll have your new books, supply list, you'll have your poem and your song. And you'll do the poem and your song each of the days throughout those 2 weeks. You're going to get this awesome mix of like math activities and art activities and letter activities. There is plenty of math built into this program that I would never use an additional math program with Playing Preschool. I think it's totally enough as is. And another thing that I really like about this is she has put a lot of pictures in here. I find that super duper helpful for the activities, just to kind of give you an idea of what it is going to look like. And then you have your new unit, your poem, your song. Here's your week at a glance, and your activities. Next unit is going to be the 5 senses. So I won't flip through this whole book right now, but you'll see that it follows the same format the whole way through. It builds on itself and gets progressively harder. The kids are going to have tons of little arts and crafts things that they're going to be doing throughout the time here. There are going to be a lot of hands-on stuff. There'll be some messy stuff. Susie really is like the best at encouraging you to just get messy and not worry about that. That ends 190 days. You can go faster or slower or skip some days. It's up to you. Honestly, that's part of learning how to homeschool too, is just looking and assessing where your kid's at and how they're doing with the material and skipping what you need to. I kind of stand by her in saying that don't skip to year 2 if you have, you know, a little bit of an older kid. There's a lot in year 1 that they'll benefit from and build on. And you know, if it is too busy, then you can skip some of those activities, but even, you know, there's still going to be a lot in there that they will enjoy. Like, I even sometimes included my kindergartner with my preschooler that was doing this just because, like, the activity was fun. This says they need the foundation from last year to make the second year work. Still no worksheets, still not time consuming. She says about 45 minutes. I found it took less than that for us. Supplies are things that we have at home. Same as year 1. The units are still in themes with 19 units and 190 days total. So she's adding a little bit more of the teacher's guide aspect to this one than the last one. Here we have all the units in book 2. This page is going to give you a little bit more information on what's in each unit and what you'll be doing. For instance, let's just pick randomly unit 10, maps and directions. Learning about maps, their uses, giving directions and following directions. Map unit 11, balls, using toy sport balls as the vehicle for learning about ramps, spheres, and classifying. So she gives you a little bit more information here than she did in unit 1 or in Playing Preschool 1. Okay, supply list for the whole unit here. And like you can see the intro part she's adding that wasn't in the other one. The skills that they'll be learning: math skills, number sense, recall and retell, core skills, alphabet knowledge, letter sounds. A couple things I need to make sure you hear. Identifying letters and sounds is a skill kids need to master in kindergarten. If your child doesn't know them, that's okay and means they'll learn them at a developmentally right time for them. Some kids learn letters at age 3. That was my daughter, and it was totally crazy and blew me away. I was not prepared to have a kid that was so eager to learn her letters. And some learn at age 6. That was more my 2 boys. Definitely read this. I think this is awesome information from a qualified teacher who has taught kindergarten and knows what to expect of kindergartners coming in. Why not teach each skill or activity to mastery? Now that's really important thing to know doing preschool. It's just not needed. Mostly what they need in preschool is to play. And that is mostly what you're going to be doing in Playing Preschool. It's a little bit of guided play. That's probably what I'd say is different. But for the most part, they're playing. First unit, all about me. Same thing that you'll see. You have supply list. These are the books that you can check out from the library. You have your poem. You have your song that you're gonna do every day. And you have letter A words. The overview, and then Monday begins. You have learning activity, name sorting. Dump out a container of alphabet magnets. This activity will be done in 2 to 3 minutes. Find the letters of your child's name. Add extra 5 to 7 letters to the pile. So I think we actually ended up skipping this particular one because I didn't have the alphabet magnets. Here, the easy activity is using watercolor paints to reveal hidden names. And this is a really fun one with the white crayon on white paper. And then you write like letters and they take the watercolor paint over the top and find the hidden letters. And the next day you have kind of the same thing. You'll talk about the letter sound A, you'll draw it on a piece of paper, you'll do the A poem again together. Then you have this learning activity, this or that. So grab 2 objects, one that starts with A, one that does not. Let's try to figure out which one has the letter A at the beginning, the A sound at the beginning. Say the names of the objects, putting emphasis on the first sound. And you have this activity here using a 10 frame with some tape on the ground. This is awesome, especially now that I have older kids and I see the value of a 10 frame. We're using it in Math with Confidence. Tape out a 10 frame on the floor, see the photo below. Select 10 of their favorite toys to use as counters, and have your child turn over a card and create that number on the 10 frame. You have graphing. We wrote out all the names of our friends from our homeschool co-op, and then we made this little graph, and they had to, if the name had 3 letters in it, then they put it under the number 3. Here's sticker names. And once again, you'll use these sticker dots all the time. And on 3 sheets of dot stickers, write the letters in their name in random order. And then you're going to, they're going to match it onto the piece of paper you put on the wall. My kids loved these activities. Then you can see there's going to be more activities in here. Love these pictures. And Unit 3, you have the alphabet. Then we have our unit for blocks, B words, poem, and okay, so you can see there's a lot of pictures in here of the activities, and those just are going to help you have a visual of what you're doing with the kids, and I think is one of the highlights of the way this program is set up too. Okay, so patterns, then we have magnets, then we have texture, and science experiments, health, and rhyming words. Okay, you have an idea of what's inside now of Playing Preschool 2 and Playing Preschool 1. If you feel all stressed about preschool or what you're gonna do for preschool, seriously just get this. It takes care of everything for you, and literally all you need to do is flip to that day, do the next lesson, and then have a few craft supplies so that you can do some of the activities. You'll feel confident that your child is overly ready for kindergarten, and at the very least, the thing that I felt like was that this gave me what I needed to kind of make preschool special for my kids, and I felt like I was probably the type of mom that wouldn't really do a lot of extra special things for preschool if I didn't have something telling me to do that. It's what I wanted to do for them. I wanted to have those activities for them. So thank you, Susie, and I hope that y'all will enjoy this. Please give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful, and check the link in my description for where you can find Playing Preschool.